in just if you want to get more people into the room. Today we're going to be talking about the big announcement from Mariah Carey this morning on Good Morning America Plus. Kevin Hart is coming to the defense of not only Ellen DeGeneres, but also another fellow comedian, Nick Cannon, and the hashtag Free Britney movement is back. This time, Britney's coming to the forefront and taking control of her own destiny. It's going to be great. I want to say what's up to Ellie Hoffman. Ellie, good to see you here. And again, entertainment news is what we're talking about today. Let's see, more people in the chat. Awesome, good stuff. Mariah Carey, 5-time Grammy award-winning pop icon, the biggest female artist of all time today, was a part of Good Morning America's summer concert series where she sang a really cool B-side of, she did Vision of Love, and she also did Close My Eyes from the Butterfly album. And she also announced that she's going to be releasing on October 2nd an album called The Rarities. Now, the Lambly, which is Mariah Carey's affectionate and very loyal fan base, is very excited about this because The Rarities is going to be a 32-track full-length album of unreleased Mariah Carey material dating all the way back to the inception of her career in 1990 through the 90s to the 2000s. And also on the bonus disc, you're going to get 17 more tracks from her live in the Tokyo Dome Daydream Tour concert. And this is massive for this reason. Mariah Carey all summer long has been celebrating the 30th anniversary of her debut album, Mariah Carey, which bowed in 1990. And she's been giving the fans these really cool reissuings of EPs and maxi singles from songs that were very popular in those eras. So we started out with the Mariah Carey album era, into her second LP, Emotions, into her third LP, Music Box, into her fourth full-length album, Daydream. And so what we're getting is maxi singles of unheard remixes, unreleased remixes, B-sides that we've never heard. So the fans are really excited about this, coupled with the announcement of her new memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, which is going to bow on September 29th. So her fan base is just getting this Christmas in July. And we're excited. So that's music news coming from Mariah Carey. Again, she's a 5-time Grammy Award-winning megastar that has dominated for years. Billboard magazine named We Belong Together from her 2005 The Emancipation of Mimi album the biggest song of that decade, which honestly and arguably was. So this is great news for Mariah Carey. And again, this all happened this morning on Good Morning America. Keeping it with music superstars, Britney Spears, Free Britney. The movement rages on. I'm telling you, it never stops. Britney Spears has been under conservatorship since 2008, and her conservator has been her father, Jamie Spears. Now, last year, Jamie Spears stepped away temporarily due to health issues and entered Jody Montgomery, who was Britney's personal care manager. On Tuesday in Los Angeles, Britney filed papers with the Los Angeles Supreme Court to have her father completely removed from the conservatorship. She wants to have full autonomy over everything that's going on in her career. And this has enraged her fans because for years, people have been saying that Britney Spears has been held against her will by her family. We know last year in 2019, her mother, Lynn Spears, also petitioned to have more of an involvement in the conservatorship, which she has none. So we'll see what happens. But many stars have come to the defense of Britney Spears, and they're also echoing that she's being held against her will. And people seem to think that what's happening on Britney's socials, her Instagram, her Twitter, is a little, I don't want to say weird, but there have been some posts that are questionable. So what do you guys think? Should Britney be in charge of her conservatorship? Personally, I don't think that's the right move. I think there was a reason why a court appointed her father over a decade ago, 12 years ago, to handle all her business affairs. I mean, she's worth millions of dollars. She has a catalog that spans over 20 years. She's a cash cow. And what we've seen publicly from the breakdowns in the late 2000s to just what's happening now, some people gather that she's not well. Of course, this is all alleged. We do not know. We haven't had a chance to reach out to Britney, nor has Britney given a statement in regards to her mental well-being. But there are stars like Lance Bass who are chiming in on the well-being of Miss Spears. So let's see. Hey, I can't make it up. Let's see. Hi, Liza. Hey, Peter. Moving on to Ellen DeGeneres. Now, of course, we know that Ellen has come under fire, and the Ellen DeGeneres, I would say, camp, show, saga, world, universe, has been called out by former employees for alleged racism, sexual misconduct, and a toxic work environment. This has been everywhere for the last month, 2 months almost. And now today, Kevin Hart, fellow comedian who's had his own bouts of transgressions, if you will, in the public, is coming to not only her defense, but the defense of fellow comedian Nick Cannon. The latest on Nick Cannon is Viacom CBS, which he has been in bed with for almost 20 years, has parted ways with him after Nick Cannon making what they felt were anti-Semitic remarks on one of his podcasts. Kevin Hart, back in 2017, was embroiled in an extortion and extramarital affair scandal, coupled with, in 2019, stepping down from hosting the Academy Awards after alleged homophobic remarks surfaced from Kevin previously before his superstardom. So he's coming to the defense of Ellen and Nick today in an interview with Deadline, saying that he doesn't know if what is being said is true, but he does know what is to be true, and that is his relationship with both of these people, and that they have been kind and awesome, and they have a really good relationship. So he's not discounting the allegations, but he's speaking from his own space of his relationship and saying that these are people who don't deserve to have the type of press that they're getting. You know, he also says that he's been through dark times, and he knows what it's like for those who he thought would have his back to not have his back. That friendship is something that he believes in, and loyalty is something that he believes in as well. This is all told to Deadline today. Here's my stance on the whole Ellen thing. And I've talked about this ad nauseum since its inception. And also, I've had friends who have worked on the Ellen show, and these rumors about Ellen have been permeating Hollywood and pop culture and the industry for years. No one wants to talk about them, because with the power you have being a figure like Ellen DeGeneres, there's intimidation with that. People are afraid to speak out. But I think now more than ever, especially with what's happened in the last 90 days with civil unrest and people speaking their truth, people are doing just that. They're speaking their truth, right? 3 of her top executives have been removed after what they're reporting as an extensive investigation by Warner Media, the company that owns Telepictures that distributes the Ellen DeGeneres show. And hey, Blake, and yet we still don't have an official public statement from Ellen herself. There's internal emails to people that work on the show, but nothing that Ellen's given to any publication outside of her organization. Now, if someone like Oprah, who also is at the helm of a billion-dollar brand, a cash cow, even though she's no longer on the air with her daytime talk show, which was on the air for 25 years, if she was to have something like this happen, you best believe, or I would like to believe, or I'm pretty sure, that Oprah would get in front of this. She would do what I say, Olivia Pope the situation, if you guys watch Scandal. Olivia Pope the situation, come out and talk to her tribe, her community, her public, her fans. Ellen has yet to do that. Now, there have been other stars, Deborah Messing, let's see, who else? Brad Garrett, and people who have appeared on the show today. Inside Edition ran a piece of a girl who came from Chicago in 2009 to be on the show, chosen from the audience. And she says that her account and her experience on the show was in alignment with what everyone has been saying is true about Ellen. That producers were very cold, told her that she cannot be smarter than Ellen, she cannot be funnier than Ellen, and that after she was doused in water because the bit on the show was either she was going to get an answer right, money was going to fall, or water was going to fall. And of course the water fell, poor girl, but she was drenched in water, and producers really weren't very helpful after the bit was over. During commercial break, Ellen didn't even speak to her audience. She sat in a chair, and that was it. Now, of course, being on a daytime talk show requires a lot of mental stamina. There's a lot that goes into that. People in your ear, teleprompter, you're bouncing, all these different elements. There's a lot that goes into being on television. It's not easy. But in 2009, Ellen would have been 6 years into doing her show, because it bowed in 2003. I think by then you have a handle on it, right? So for her not to give a statement about what's happening is weird. And also, if you are, as I said, like Oprah, at the helm of your brand, if your name is on magazines, products, content, and bylines and headlines, and that's your bread and butter, something that you've cultivated and built and stacked from the ground up, has netted you billions of dollars. Wouldn't it be in your best interest to speak to the people who allow that to happen? I would think. Now, again, we don't know Ellen personally. And again, I take Kevin Hart's statement to Deadline today with a grain of salt. I mean, he has a relationship, but also Kevin Hart is famous. Kevin Hart is a comedian. And I think there's some similarities. The air is different up there when you run in those circles. But he was unequivocally standing in support of both Nick Cannon and Ellen DeGeneres. So we will see what happens. Again, 3 executives have been removed. The allegations that were levied against the show and those people were sexual misconduct and racism, adding to a toxic work environment. And this was done, and those allegations came after BuzzFeed did a scathing expose interviewing 10 former employees and 1 current employee. And all of their stories corroborate each other, and they were all pretty similar. And they say where there's smoke, there's fire. And some people are saying this is one huge dumpster fire that's going on at Ellen. And how can she rebound? How can she rebound from this? Someone whose brand has been to be authentic and to, quote, be kind to one another. When her show returns in September, which is when I think she will make a public statement on national TV. That's the most powerful, most effective. Do it in your own house. Will we buy it? Will we believe it? With cancel culture, which I don't subscribe to, but it's a real thing. Yes, I'll take questions in just a second, Steve. With cancel culture, which is a real thing, our patience and our tolerance for things is this big. Rightfully so. So if she does make a statement on national television, will her brand suffer? Will be kind to one another now fall on deaf ears? Are we buying it? Are we always going to have that side eye like, is this performative or is there some truth to that? Did it hurt Ellen to not get in front of this and take accountability? You can remove all the executives you want. You can punish and lambast all the executives you want or all the people that are part of the problem. But when you sit on the throne of the problem, who holds you accountable? Cash cow or not? Right? Let's take some questions. Let's see here. Getting back to Mariah Carey, as a huge fan of Mariah Carey, this is exciting news for this new album, The Rarities, because you can go on YouTube, you can go all over the net, and you're always trying to find those deep cuts. If you're a fan of anyone, of any artist, be it R&B, rock, you name it, and you really subscribe to that artist, getting rarities is a big deal. Getting unreleased music is a big deal because you've already played on Heavy Row everything they've already put out. And back in the day with LimeWire, remember LimeWire, BearShare, how it ruined our computers? I used LimeWire and BearShare so much. I had every Trojan, worm, horse, virus imaginable. My computer was so infected it made noise. That's how bad it was. But you would search for those deep-seated gems from those artists because you wanted more. The fans are insatiable. The fandoms are insatiable. So when an artist willingly gives of that music, of those rarities, of those gems, what more can you ask for, right? What more can you ask for? Let's see here, questions. Alex asks, hey Alex, good to see you. Love your broadcast in the morning, killing the game, buddy. So do you think cancel culture is going to have an impact on Ellen's response? I think cancel culture will absolutely have an impact on Ellen's response because here's the thing, much like politics, you have people who are just die hard, ride or die, regardless. Doesn't matter what you could do, what you could say, they're going to be fans. They're going to be fans regardless of what happens, right? Ellen was a safe space and a happy space and an escape for people, especially now with COVID, especially what's happening in the world. People are looking for a safe space and are engaging even more with escapism. We can't go to the movies, so what? We're streaming it. We're streaming television. And what's better than being back together with something that's comfortable, like offers comfort? And Ellen offers comfort to millions of people. But the fact of the matter is, when you enter sexual misconduct and racism into the conversation, that changes everything. It would be different if people were saying something like, Ellen's the kindest person in the world, but the people that work in the show are terrible, but Ellen's always been great to me. If many people had said that, it would be a different situation. But people are also saying that she's not pleasant. So that just adds fuel to the fire. So cancel culture is ready. They are ready. And when that's when and if, sorry, that statement does come, it's going to be well crafted. It's going to say everything it needs to say. But the questions people are going to have is the sincerity, the authenticity of it. That's the kicker there. How is it going to be delivered and how is it going to be received? Because as a communicator, if the person receiving the message doesn't get it successfully, that's not on them. That's not on you. That's on the person relinquishing the message. So hope she gets it right. Alex also asked, is it possible Ellen insulated herself from the problems happening, but that's not an excuse? Yeah, it's not an excuse, but if you're not everyone approaches their career as a business. You know, she was a comedian before. Ellen made history in '97 coming out as gay on television. To only have her show canceled, to have exactly what allegedly she's done to people, or what allegedly people feel that's being done to them working for her, was done to her back then. Ostracized, not seen, ignored, treated horribly, marginalized. So when you have a brand, you also have a business. And I don't know if she realizes that she is a brand, and that a brand runs like a business, and you have to facilitate the aspects of that business. So being insulated from it is kind of like, really? I mean, you're smart enough to know that you have to have your hand in everything. It's also really lazy if that's the case. It's very lazy to not be as active as possible in your brand. Again, that nets you millions of dollars hand over fist annually. Let's see. Ellie asks, so do you think cancel culture is going to have an impact on response? Sorry about that. Yeah, I answered that one already. And what do you guys think about Britney Spears? Do we think that she should be in charge of her finances? Do we think that she should have more autonomy over her life? I think it's so weird that she's 38 years old now, will be 39 in December. She's been hyper famous for over 20 years now. Baby One More Time came out in the fall of '98. The album dropped, in the fall of '98. The single, right? I think the album dropped early January '99. No, maybe 99, '98. But I know that it was '98, '99. And then from there, it was just this catapulting rise to superstardom, global superstardom, legendary superstardom. And from 2007, when in Los Angeles, Britney Spears was the hottest paparazzi ticket in town. I remember working at a place called Millennium Dance Complex in LA. And I was a dancer, of course, in the 2000s. The Teen Pop explosion was huge. Dancing, touring artists, that was all still a big deal. It was all the music was still, that type of entertainment was very popular. And of course, from before all the way into the mid 2000s, before things started changing with streaming and whatnot. And after Britney had shaved her head and was getting ready for the 2007 VMAs, they were rehearsing at Millennium. Paparazzi had set up shop in the apartment complex right in back of the studio, rented out people's apartments for $1,000 a day to get that picture of Britney coming out. We were walking outside of one of the rooms, and from outside or below this van, this guy rolls out, paparazzi, just full on camera, bam, 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 thinking it was Britney. I mean, that kind of guerrilla style of capturing a celebrity was intense. It was scary. People calling saying, hey, oh my gosh, Jason, hi. Yeah, this is William. Yeah. So is Britney there? Asking questions because they work for an outlet. Were wanting to see if I was dumb enough to give them the scoop on what was happening with Britney at this dance studio. Of course, we signed NDAs. We weren't going to, we respected our clients. But so it's funny, like 12 years later, that we're still seeing something similar to that. It's more controlled now, but no one has really ever had the chance to talk to Britney. When's the last time we've seen a sit-down interview with Britney Spears giving her account of what's happening in her life? I can't even remember that. I don't think there, in the last 3 years, has there been that? I don't think so. And the whole hashtag Free Britney movement makes sense because on her own social media, it seems like she has cries for help. She has posts that are alluding to something's going on. But why can't we get the answer straight from the horse's mouth? More questions. Alex Godney lives. Hey, Mark. Brett, hi. Alex says, can't know her mental health struggles if conservatorship is still in place. It's for a reason. I agree. I agree. And I think also Britney Spears is a mother. Is a mother. Her trust, the SJB trust, was founded in 2004 to protect her assets and her money and her material dealings for her children with Kevin Federline. Thanks, Pablo. So she's smart, and someone's smart, but I think also the family, that's another element that's a little bit weird, with the mom petitioning to have an insight to her financial dealings. Her financial dealings, and this is all per articles on CNN and things I reported at ET. But there's more beyond her financial stability, her financial state. What about her mental state? It's, again, a 38-year-old woman. She's a grown woman. She's a mother. I think she should have more control over whatever she wants in her life. And why haven't people why hasn't someone, if anyone, given her the help that she needs? It just feels like it's ongoing. There should not be a hashtag Free Britney movement for this person who should be able to do things for herself and help herself, which I'm sure she wants to, but we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. It's very weird. See, more. Ending with Ellen. I think Ellen will definitely come back from this. I don't think this is going to be the end of Ellen. We know that she upped and promoted Steve Twitch Boss to executive producer on the show. I mean, he's been a mainstay on the show for many, many years, but people feel that that was a performative move, that she's had people like Kaylin Allen and Twitch, who are men of color, on the show, who have helped bring the show even more popularity. And now, because one, Black Lives Matter is trending, and I hate to say that it's trending, but the reality is that it's trending. He's a person of color, inclusivity, representation, and putting that to the forefront is only a feather in the hat of non-POC entities and outlets and organizations. Sure, let's promote him, but he should have been promoted years ago, so why now? It seems very convenient, and a lot of people on Twitter are echoing that sentiment, like, okay, we love Twitch, very talented, loved him on So You Think You Can Dance. His TikToks with his wife, Allison Holker, and the kids are incredible. He's always been great on the show. He should have been promoted. He adds to the show. There's value there. Overnight, he's not promoted. So, I don't know. All will be revealed when the show returns this September, and I'm guessing we're going to get that statement live on television. And I'll be here on Haps to talk about that statement and get your guys' feedback on it. Until next time, you guys, Jason Carter here for Haps TV News from Miami, Florida. Always a pleasure to connect with you guys.